The psalm shifts in verse 4. David moves from general principles to personal experience. He writes, I said, Lord, be merciful unto me, heal my soul, for I have sinned against thee. Psalm 41, verse 4. The phrase I said introduces David's prayer where he addresses God. The word Lord employs the covenant name of God. David appeals to God's relationship with Israel. The verb be merciful translates a word meaning to show favor or grace. David asks for undeserved kindness. He then requests, heal my soul. The verb heal means to cure or restore. The word soul refers to his entire being, not just his body. David needs spiritual restoration. The final clause in this verse explains why. For I have sinned against thee. The conjunction for gives the reason. David confesses his sin. The verb have sinned admits his guilt. He acknowledges wrongdoing against God. This confession reveals David's understanding. He knows his suffering is connected to his sin. David does not blame others or his circumstances. He takes responsibility. His prayer shows humility. David asks for mercy, not justice. He knows he deserves punishment, so he appeals to God's grace. The request for healing reveals David's dependence. Only God can heal his soul. Verse 5 reveals David's opposition. Mine enemies speak evil of me. When shall he die and his name perish? Psalm 41, verse 5. The phrase, mine enemies, identifies those who oppose David. These people speak evil of me. The verb speak suggests ongoing action. The phrase, speak evil of me, describes their malicious words. David next quotes their words. When shall he die and his name perish? The question reveals their desire. They want David dead. The phrase, when shall he die, reveals their impatience. They expect his death and look forward to it. The clause, his name perish, expands the desire. They want his memory erased. Death alone does not satisfy them. They want David's complete destruction. His enemies believe David's sickness signals his end. They interpret his illness as divine judgment. They assume God has abandoned him, and they wait for his death with eagerness. Verse 6 describes the hypocrisy of David's enemies. And if he come to see me, he speaketh vanity. His heart gathereth iniquity to itself. When he goeth abroad, he telleth it. Psalm 41, verse 6. The phrase, if he come to see me, describes a visit. The enemy comes to David's sickbed. This visit appears compassionate, and the person seems concerned, but David exposes the truth. He speaketh vanity. The verb speaketh reveals what they say about David. Vanity means emptiness or falsehood. The visitor speaks empty words. He pretends sympathy, but feels none. His words lack sincerity. The next clause reveals the visitor's motive. His heart gathereth iniquity to itself. The word heart represents the inner person. Gathereth means to collect or store. The word iniquity refers to evil or wrongdoing. The visitor collects information. He gathers details about David's condition and uses this knowledge for evil purposes. The last phrase of this verse shows the result. When he goeth abroad, he telleth it. The verb goeth abroad means to leave and go outside. David's enemy departs. The verb telleth reveals what he does next. He reports what he learned and spreads information about David's weakness. He used his visit to gather intelligence. This describes the treachery of David's enemies. The visitor pretends friendship while planning David's downfall. He acts concerned, but seeks advantage. He speaks kind words while his mind devises evil. His actions reveal complete dishonesty. Verse 7 intensifies the description of David's enemies. All that hate me whisper together against me. Against me do they devise my hurt. Psalm 41, verse 7. The phrase, all that hate me, identifies a group. These people share one thing: their hatred of David. They unite in opposition. The verb whisper describes their method. They murmur. The phrase, together against me, shows their conspiracy. They plot in secret and coordinate their attacks. The whispering suggests secrecy and shame. They hide their plans. The second clause states their purpose. Against me do they devise my hurt. The verb devise means to think or plan. These enemies plan, and they create strategies. The phrase my hurt identifies their goal. They plan to do David harm. The repetition of against me emphasizes David's isolation. Everyone opposes him. He stands alone. David's enemies surround him. They work in unity while he suffers in solitude. These verses reveal the pain of betrayal. David faces physical illness and spiritual distress. His enemies exploit his weakness. They pretend concern while planning his destruction. David's foes visit his sickbed to gather information. They mutter conspiracies and wait for his death. The situation mirrors earlier events. David served King Saul. He played music to soothe Saul's troubled spirit. He fought Goliath and won victories, yet Saul grew jealous. 1 Samuel records, and Saul eyed David from that day and forward. 1 Samuel 18, verse 9. Saul watched David with suspicion as he plotted David's death. He sent David into battle, hoping the Philistines would kill him. Saul even threw spears at David while David played music. Saul spoke kind words in public, but planned murder in private. He gathered information about David's movements. He conspired with others to capture David. Saul, who should have protected David, sought to destroy him. David's words in Psalm 41 express his anguish at this betrayal. He knows what false friendship looks like. David understands the pain of whispered conspiracies. He has experienced the cruelty of those who visit with empty words while their minds devise harm. This psalm gives voice to the suffering caused by human treachery.